We've asked them to pick their combined sides, and we'll start with you, Gary. So these are the current players, and really, I suppose the question for you is how many Manchester United players would get into the Liverpool team, which has started the season so well. Take us through them, starting in goal.
Yeah, I've gone De Gea. I just think I spoke earlier on tonight about Alisson. I think he's fantastic, but I think De Gea is the best in the world. People question whether he's having the best season, but I think just overall, I would go De Gea. Left back was challenging. I did think, I mean, Luke Shaw's done fantastically well. I think that Luke Shaw is absolute best, consistent year in, year out, but at the moment you can't deny what Robertson's done in this last couple of years at Liverpool. Van Dijk is the outstanding centre-half in the league, let alone in these two clubs. I mean, what United would do to have a centre-half like him.
What if Gomez was fit?
I would put Gomez in. Gomez would,
yeah.
When we said that players weren't fit to play, I would put Gomez in alongside him.
But Bailly doesn't even get in the Man United team, so how's he in a combined team? Does he?
I just fancy putting a United player in the back four, to be honest.
He doesn't even play, does he?
No, I mean, to be fair, do I think that Matip and Lovren individually are brilliant? Not really. Do I think that Bailly's brilliant? Not really, but I think actually, if I thought that Bailly was put in amongst that back four, I think he would be the best of the three of them, and that's. I must admit, it was tough. It was a flip of a coin, to be honest.
Well, interestingly, the two Manchester United players are in there are not in the Manchester United team either at the minute. Pogba and Martial.
No, I thought about Rashford or Martial, but I thought Martial with the quality on Martial with the quality on that left-hand side, he'd be devastated up alongside Firmino and Salah. And Pogba, I just thought holding in midfield.
Holding.
Yeah, I put him holding. I mean, Matic...
Holding what? Oh, my God. He's the most undisciplined player of all time.
He's holding with Wijnaldum and Keita in midfield. I mean, I didn't pick him with much conviction, to be honest with you.
Did you feel you were clutching at straws?
I was clutching at straws, yeah, I absolutely was. I mean, Matic, to be fair, I was like that. Jordan and Henderson, James Milner, they're in and out of that midfield in terms of playing. I wasn't convinced by anything just through what's been happening. I just thought, well, it's an opportunity for me to put a United player to be honest with you. I do think Pogba I still think Pogba is Manchester United's best central midfield player. I actually still think, out of all the central midfield players of both clubs, he's the most talented. I do think that.
Yeah, most talented.
I think
he's not the best player.
In midfield of both clubs, I actually think Pogba is the best midfield player at both clubs. Whether he's playing that way, whether he's...
Jamie, let's have a look at if
he's played Juventus and France.
Let's change it on to Jamie's team. Anyway. 7 you agreed on. De Gea was one, Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk and Robertson, but Lovren comes into
To be honest, the reason I went for Lovren is Lovren makes mistakes as a centre-back. Obviously, some of the Man United fellas, there's a few centre-backs there do the same. I just think when Lovren has his best game, say if everyone's playing the best game, I think Lovren's best game is better than Bailly's best game or Smallin's best game. That's the reason I went for Lovren. You're a big fan of Lovren, aren't you?
He was at Southampton.
I put Matic in there.
One Manchester United player.
Yeah.
I think two with the goalkeeper.
I think he is the real sort of classic holding midfield player. Listen, Jordan Henderson plays there for Liverpool. He's probably not a natural holding player. You've got Fabinho. He's been there and done it with Chelsea, won titles also. So I think he's probably the real one holding midfield player in the two squads. I went for Keita to add something going forward. Really, still not seen enough of him yet. We've seen glimpses, and I was. Do you think to and fro went over a bit with, different players in midfield, and I went for Milner, really.
I'm asking you a question now that you really can't give me the answer to, or I won't even know the answer, but do you think that Jurgen Klopp, if he could swap Paul Pogba for Keita or Milner, he would? Honestly. If you think, deep down, if you give me Pogba, and would I have him in front of James Milner or Keita? I think he would.
I don't think Klopp would. Do you think he's a type of Klopp player? No. He's not going to press, is he? He's not going to run, is he?
You said that there's change in Liverpool, and you said that they are more controlled. They are more ordered. They're not as mad as they used to be in terms of pressing. Everyone's not all over the place like, crazy as they were. I think you don't think he'd choose.
Listen, there's no doubt Paul Pogba has got more quality than any midfielder in the two squads, but quality does not make a great player. Where's that team?
Well, let's go to this now. So we've got 7 we've agreed on this left-hand side, so we've got to fill the spaces. A bit of democracy is needed. I mean, you've decided on your goalkeeper, so we can't change that around. Let's fill some gaps then. Let's.
So we've got to put a combined team.
Need another centre half. Come on, who's going to play with Van Dijk?
So it's Bailly or Lovren.
Well,
no, it's Bailly or Lovren because they're the ones we picked.
Come on then, which is it going to be? Let's have a consensus.
I'm willing to
put Bailly in just so we can get a Man United player in.
I'd prefer to fight. No, I'd prefer to fight over Pogba rather than Bailly. I'll be honest with you.
Well, where's your evidence of sticking up for Pogba in terms of... He's not even in the Man United team. You're picking players who aren't even in Man United's team. Never mind a combined team.
Put Pogba in.
Let's put Pogba in.
Just he's not playing in the team, does that not mean he's the best midfield player, talent-wise, at Manchester United?
Liverpool are challenging for the title. Man United aren't having a great season, and Pogba can't get in that team.
Can I mention it? I think with Jose at the moment, with his players, I think he's got to the point whereby... And to be fair, I think every manager does when things aren't going as well as... I think he's just playing the players he likes and the players who he thinks are...
So why doesn't he like him if he's that good a player?
No, because I think he's obviously had problems with him all season. He's had issues with him and Pogba, and likewise, they don't get on with each other, obviously. So I think he's just thought, well, I'm just going to pick the players who I think I can trust, who I can like, who are going to run for me. I don't think it's a reflection...
So why would you even clock on him if you can't trust him and he doesn't run?
But I don't think it's a reflection. It's a relationship thing between the manager and the player. I don't think it's a reflection on Paul Pogba as a football player, personally.
Are you going with Matic, both of you?
Oh, now we're really talking. We've got loads of Man United players in there. We've got Bailly in as well.
Are you then saying, Jamie, when you quite confidently went for Matic when I lined him up there with Milner and Wijnaldum, that this is a weakness of Liverpool's side, that midfield area, that can get better?
Listen, Kite has come in, we're still seeing sort of signs of what that can bring. It's not so much a weakness, that midfield. That midfield got Liverpool to Champions League final. It's not so much that a weakness, it's just that they're very similar players. So if you've got three in the midfield, you probably want them all to give you something a little bit different. They're not sort of...
But Matic over Fabinho as a holding player?
Well, Fabinho's only just come to England. He's still settling. Matic has won titles at Chelsea.
I'll ask you a different question then. Going into that Champions League final against Real Madrid last season, would you have had Pogba in midfield for Liverpool?
Possibly, yes.
I knew that'd get you. I should be a presenter, actually. Because I'm thinking, in a Champions League final, you'd want Pogba in your team, wouldn't you? He'd rise, wouldn't he? I think...
Would he?
No, he would. I think he'd rise in the game. So I think, to be fair, when you look at that now with Pogba, Matic and Keita, straight away I looked at that and thought, actually, it's probably a better midfield than the one I picked.
So you can have Mane, you could have...
I don't get the Mane one over Martial.
Lukaku.
I must say.
I'm willing to give it up, to be honest.
I think Mane's been fantastic.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it up. I think Mane has been fantastic. I mean, the front three for Liverpool, I have to say, I think that if you said to Pep privately, would you swap his front three for that front three? I think he would. I think that's the best front three in the Premier League. It's absolutely incredible. It has everything, in possession and out of possession. They're absolutely devastating. I haven't got a bad word to say about them. I put Martial in, to be honest with you. He has got a lot of quality, he has had a good season, but I couldn't argue with saying Mane should be in front of Martial. I couldn't sit here and defend it. Yeah. I think I can argue on Pogba. I think I can...
What about the Lukaku of last season? Would he have made this team?
I think Lukaku of the World Cup for Belgium could make this team easily. But the Lukaku who's played for Manchester United this season is lacking confidence.
He said by himself he's overweight, or has been. Too much muscle.
I struggle with that, I'll be honest with you.
Muscle or weight?
You're just waiting for that.
A bit of both. Heavy boned. No, but to be fair, I struggle with that. I struggle with the weight thing as a football player, because I think my view is, and maybe it's just because of the way I was in terms of preparation. You could never take a chance with preparation. You can play badly, you can give goals away, you can make mistakes, you can miss chances, whatever type of player you are, all those things happen in games. But actually, don't take a chance with your preparation, because that's the thing. Do I turn up every single morning? Do I eat the right things? Do I go into the gym at the right times? Do I follow the programme? Now, you could argue, has he got the right programme? So you then start to question your coaching staff and things like that. But when I really do question that in the modern age where you've got about 55 staff supporting every single team, with nutritionists, sports scientists, strength and conditioning coaches, I struggle to understand how a player can be allowed to feel that he's got too much muscle or he's overweight or whatever it would be, particularly when he's fit. I understand when you're coming back from an injury, you sometimes do sort of just struggle a little bit. Sometimes I did.
Should he play Sunday?
No. No, I'd go with the mobility. I'd go with the mobility.
I agree.
I'd go with the mobility. I'd just go with the ones that have been playing.
We got there in the end. Monday Night Football's combined 11. Seven Liverpool, 4 Manchester United. Does that just about
It'd be 8 if
reflect
Gomez
It looks
was
like
fit.
the balance of the teams right now?
Be a good January transfer window for United if it ended up with that team.
What do you think, Jamie?
No, it's a good side, balanced side. There'd have to be a lot of work to cover Pogba, obviously, when he goes drifting. Gomez will be back in there if he was fit. But listen, it's probably just... Listen, it's just Liverpool are playing better than United this season. If you'd done it last season...
Will that be reflected at the weekend? We are out of time, unfortunately, but we do hope you can join us this weekend. It's going to be fantastic. See you then.